Hi everybody, well we're back. Sorry for the small delay. Hopefully you're all up to date with what we're doing, and I'll pass you over to Chris.
Hi, welcome back again. And so you remember on the last episode we made the mouse, and now we're going to make the rail. The mouse runs up. We'll say we made the rail. We in the previous episode we made the rail and we loosely screwed it all the way on like that. So you got your marks if you remember back. And what we're going to do, we're going to put some spacers in. These are 6mm nuts, along with some 8 by 1.25 inch screws. You'll need 20 of these nuts, so obviously you'll need 10 screws, because what we do, we double them up. It acts as a spacer, it does. If you can understand what we do, we put them up like that. I'll just show you simply. The rail goes on and we put a screw through. So what happens is when the mouse goes up it, it's got a space, you see. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a bit like what we call...
We do understand what you're saying, love.
Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna abbreviate this thing quite quickly because it's quite cold today in here. It's and we're going to do a Blue Peter moment. So you get your first one, you double your screws up, and once you've got that through there, these have been countersunk. Remember, they've got to be countersunk enough so the mouse doesn't go on a lip. So the screws are not to protrude the metal, if you understand what I'm saying. So we just get a little screwdriver. We only nip them up a little bit. And then what I found is an easy way of doing it. If you get a tape measure or something like that, it just lifts it up a bit.
Oh yeah, sellotape or anything just to lift it, yeah.
Yeah, when you can kind of get your fingers under. It's not good when it's cold. When you go underneath there, 2 of them on top of one another, slide it to the hole. Oh gosh, it's cold. Through there. It's a bit fiddly. Once you get the knack of it.
Oh, ghost.
We've got a ghost. Shut the door, keep the warmth in.
Just wander over and shut the door, folks. I don't think we're missing much there because you've got the idea of the first bit. Keep it a bit warmer in the shed.
So if you get the gist of it, and we go all the way up. I think there's about 10 holes we've marked out. Move that up into touch.
Can you remember what video we did this marking out on so people can go back?
I can't, to be honest, but
I'll have a look for you and link it in the description if I can find which one we did the rail on.
So we do the same again, all the way through. Like I say, so it's a bit fiddly. Once you get to it, pick a warm day to do it, because it's no good when your hands are cold.
No.
And your wife's cold and she moans about the cold. Don't you, love?
Hot water bottle tonight, I think.
Another one. Anyway, so you go all the way to the top, and then once it's all in position, if you just leave them slack till the top, and then once it's all in position, tighten them down then.
Okay.
So it's nice and tight, and then the mouse will run up. And I'm going to do my Blue Peter moment now.
Have you got one that you did before? Am I in your way for it? Am I, or have you got it over there?
Alright, just watch
Oh,
me.
good.
Here's what I made earlier.
Super. So that's what the end result of that should be then.
It should be like that, nice and solid. The mouse will go up and down, you see.
Lovely.
All the way to the top. I think this mouse needs a little bit of fettling, as I say. You just round the edges off with a file and it stops it catching. Once it's been up and down a few times. The other thing I would say is when we get to the top, because we've made the cutout for the top piece to go on, the screws were protruding a little bit. We just cut the ends off them.
Oh, on the last video.
On the last bit. Yeah. Obviously, if the screws come through there, it's like that, so we just cut it off, yeah?
That's fine.
So, right, let's get moving along because it's a pretty chilly day. What we've done, we make a mark on the top here, 2 inches by 2 inches. I pre-drill them. This is for our...
Any particular size did you pre-drill them?
Well, I just pre-drilled it with a 4mm drill, you see.
Yep.
And then...
That sits on there.
That fits on there. And then what we do, we get... I think it's an 8.5 drill, I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a handy little marker set.
See that, that's one of the best things I bought. I think it cost me about £2.50 and it's really handy. You go along with your drill bit, 8.5, and that's I'm after an 8.5 bit.
Brilliant, that.
It is really good. Because if you've got a drill bit like that, what's old, and you can't read what it says on the top and everything.
Well, if you've had your granddad's toolkit.
Oh, yeah, you think, yeah, if that's what I had, yeah. And basically, it'll go along and that, yeah, it's a 6mm drill.
Yeah.
Won't go through the 4.2. Yeah, so it is great. So, yeah. So 8.5 drill. Like that. Obviously we tied him up with a bit of sandpaper afterwards. And then we get, where I can find them, I put them somewhere safe a minute ago, and what to do? Are they on here somewhere?
I don't know what you're looking for, dear.
I'm looking for some little bolts that I had before. I won't be a sec. I put them somewhere safe. And
I'm sure your viewers are used to you by now.
Put them that safe, I can't find them. Ah, here they are.
Oh, good.
So, what we use on the top of these, we're about, I think we might have put it in the listing actually.
Oh, will have done. Yeah.
We're about 45, 50mm long.
Okay.
8mm they are. If you can get them without the thread at the top, it makes it easy because it doesn't, it goes, I know it sounds daft, but, you know, it goes through the wood easier. What happens is, we offer that through there to that. And with a bit of luck, if we've got it all in line, that one should go through there. Use wing nuts, because wing nuts, if you can get hold of them, a lot quicker when you're pulling it up and down. I mean, you can leave this on if you want with the belt, it's up to you, but it just makes it a little bit shorter if you're using it in a car, and it'll go in a car then, over the back seat, if you understand what I'm saying. Turn it round. Can you see that okay? Can you?
Can. Oh, I'm come round.
Just round here.
Yeah, because I mean, when we go out with them, we pack it all down, don't we?
Yeah, we're like IKEA. We are.
We are.
Try and make everything as small as possible.
Is that why we're always the last off the field?
Well, because we've got that many bits.
Yeah.
Not going to take that much stuff with us half the time. That's what it is. So yeah, once they've been on a few times and that, they'll pull themselves through. What you might want to do is use a 9mm drill just on this top one, and keep the back one the same.
Yeah.
And then they'll pop through automatically. Anyway, so what we're going to do next. Are you alright there? Can you see okay? This is all about the bell now. We've got this bolt, which is a coach bolt, which looks similar to that. It's got that type of head on it, the rounded head with a
Just
square.
stay still because you're fading in and out.
I think it's called a coach bolt anyway.
Yeah.
So we've got one of these. You get your bell. This is a 6-inch one, an old-fashioned one with a good quality steel. Normally when you take the nut off it, when you detach it from the ringy bit, what goes on there, the hole is already right. So what we do, we just get a washer what just goes over it, and another washer, and just leave a little bit of play in it, because if you do it too tight, it deadens the bell.
Yeah.
You don't get your ring. And then we get one of these, and we use a locking nut and take it all the way down to there. What you probably have to do, hold it with the pliers while you're doing it, and once it gets going, it's okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to drill a hole in here so we can put the bell on. Now we know that it's an 8mm hole, so we can't see that. We'll measure it about halfway across, 6 inches, or I don't know what that is in centimetres, 15 is it? 6 inches, half of 6 inches, obviously, is 3. So we'll let 3, and we add a little bit on, a little bit of play, 1/8 what have you. So we're just a little bit more than 3 inches up that way. It just allows for when the bell tips and everything, or it gets a bit of movement. So we're going to drill through there. Half of 12 is 6, obviously. So probably the easiest way is probably just do it from thereabouts. Okay. I'll do 8mm drill bit. Hopefully, if I've done it right, yeah, that's enough, because when this goes up,
Oh yeah, there's a small gap, isn't there, between it?
it goes all the way to the front. Like that. Well, yeah, you see.
Somebody's won a prize, a wiggly worm or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, you won a pencil. That's the general idea. We've got it ringing.
So this bell bit that you put over here, is this the information that you wanted them to know?
Oh yes, there's the information. You need the bell. You need one 8mm by 80mm coach bolt, which is one of these.
Yep.
And then 3 locking nuts. We put a locking nut there, a locking nut which goes on this side, and then we turn it
on the
over
others, yeah.
and we put a washer in
To
between
finish it
each
off.
time. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
get that like that, like that. And then, can you see okay?
Yep.
I mean, you might want to cut this off in the end, or just trim it down a bit. It might be a little bit too long. And you get your socket set and you bolt that on if that's thingy. You know what I'm saying? And once it's nipped up, it's done, right? Is that okay?
And that's the backboard.
That's the backboard finished, basically. Let's see. When it comes to taking it off, just take these off. Can you see okay there?
Yeah.
They come off. And
I mean, this is a great size, isn't it, for like fetes and like
it's handy
charities.
for inside. It's not too high because it won't hit the ceiling.
Yeah, because we've had some events where they haven't factored in ceiling height, which happens quite a lot. Event planners out there, don't forget this. So this we've had to swap out for things like this. If we've had the big striker, we just swap them out so that at least they get a striker.
Yeah, so.
There's no doubt striker's one of the most, along with like hooker ducks, one of the most popular.
Fairground items going.
Yeah.
Right, so just while I nip that up, I'm going to get the box in a minute and I'll be back with you in a second.
Okey-doke.
Right, we're going back over to the Funfair box, whatever you want to call it. Since last time we built the box, screwed it all together and everything. I had this little piece here, mainly for decoration. It's about 7 inches, I think. Approximately 7 inches, and I just got the plane and just beveled that over a little bit. Just gives it a bit of a shape.
Yeah.
Glued and screwed it. You don't have to go mad. It's only decoration.
Right.
I'm just going to swing this around now.
And yes, there was an earlier video showing how to do all the gluing and screwing.
Yeah. Let's say you had a sheet of 12mm ply. Yeah, 12mm ply. You had plenty of pieces left over at the end. What we did, we've cut a piece out of the 1/2 inch 12mm ply to make this. Just basically stops little Johnny putting his hand in when the arm's going up and down. So it's 10 inches across. I don't know what is in centimetres. It's exactly the same width as what your box should be. If you made it slightly bigger or slightly smaller, it should be the same all the way through. Yeah. And sometimes, I'll be honest, if this splays out a little bit off, you can pull it in with these, with your screws and that. You see, there's a bit of give in it, you see. Yeah. So we cut it 34 centimetres, which is, because some people like to work inches, about 13 1/4. It only has to be rough.
Yeah.
Long as that. As long as the whole thing's the same length as your box, if you understand.
Yeah.
We've got another piece there. That's about 3 1/2. Got a tin can, drew around it, because this is where your rail goes. You see, it protrudes here, and the mouse goes up there, you see. But what it does, it gives you access, if it jams or anything, to get your hand in there or to put the mouse on.
So you've just used a tin and done half a
circle, yeah. Or use a compass or whatever. I don't know, was it about 3.5, 4 inches across?
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, it's just a safety thing. And what I normally do on there, I normally write keep out. If they fold it out or put danger, you know.
Yeah.
So they're aware then that we're not supposed to go in there. So is that simple enough?
And the hinge is already listed on the things to buy.
I don't know, to be honest. I can't remember. It's such a long time ago.
It does have hinges written on it, but I don't know.
2-inch hinges, or if you've got a long piano hinge, any kind of hinges really.
Okay.
What you've got in, you know, if you're like me and you hoard everything, that's where I found them at the bottom of a box.
Right.
So turn it over. Oh. I'm going to work on this end now. We've got a piece of this steel. It's 25mm by 25mm, I think. 3mm thickness. I think it's 50mm, sorry. 50mm by 50mm. 2-inch angle.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, we're going to bolt it to here, and this holds a backflash on.
Right.
And what we have to do, we get a piece of timber like that.
Is that any old timber?
No, it's 1/2-inch timber, the same thickness as the backflash actually is made of. We got our 4mm, is it 4mm drill, 6mm drill. Because what we're going to do, we're going to bolt it through using 6mm coach bolts. But what I want to do, I'm going to drill through, and then afterwards I'm going to make that hole on here bigger, because I want to countersink that, because when it's on school floors and things like that, if you have a bolt with a square head thing, it scratches the floor. So if you put that, it's nice and smooth.
And they tend to have wood floors.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could put mats down if you were that bothered by.
Yeah, or you could put some rails underneath the thing,
Yeah.
you know. So we get that. I've got a bit of a straight edge here, an old ruler. That's where you need 3 arms sometimes. And we sandwich it all. You want to? Can you see that? It's all been sandwiched behind.
Yes, I can.
We put that ruler, so it just gives it a little bit of play. Then we move that into position so it's about right.
And then you draw it, do you, to see where you are?
Yeah, I will show them the distances. Hey, well, it's roughly. Well, look, it was 10 inches or thereabouts.
Yeah.
You see, so we just. Little pilot hole there. Pilot hole there. Yeah, what I meant to say is before we start drilling, 5.5 centimetres from that end to there, and 1 centimetre in from there, just drill through. 6mm hole.
Okay.
Okay. So we drill through these. 6mm. And then I get a slightly bigger bit. There's my trusty gauge. I think it's about a 7mm or something like that. 7.5 is it? Or might even be 8 actually. Doesn't matter, thereabouts. And what we're going to do, we're going to drill through this. Nice sharp drill that for once. And we offer through. See them, I mean, look sloppy, but because I've countersunk and when they pull tight, they're nice and thin.
Okay.
Bolts. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, I'm sure we'll answer you back if you give us a bell or what have you.
A striker bell, is it? Haha.
Oh, you're so funny, you should have a tally, love.
I should.
Just try and find it.
I mean, hopefully, if you're doing this, you're a bit more organised.
Well, yeah, organised chaos, that's me. Well. See what clean, we're nice and flush now. We're not going to scratch anybody's floor.
Sharp on the old ears, that was.
Was it?
I'm sorry if you've got headphones on watching this.
We'll put a warning on.
Yeah.
Flashing screen. So.
Oh, there's quite some difference in the size there.
And what would you mean?
One's shorter than the other.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You cut them off later.
Ah, right, okay.
You get the grinder in there and cut them off. I mean, if you want to be clever, because I try and cut it off and make them nice and thingy. But when we finished it all, we've read you're not catching your fingers on it, you see.
Yeah, it just makes it safer as well, doesn't it, for anybody that puts their fingers in there?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is just go put some normal 6mm nuts on for now. And we've got a little great little socket set which will tighten these up. And now going down a bit more. See the bit of the backflash. See, I've left a little bit of sloppiness here by putting that ruler in.
Yeah.
Once you got paint on it and everything, it soon
Thicken up, yeah.
soon thickens up and it goes tight. So, you know, or if it's been a rainy day, you know, the wood might swell a bit because the rain gets in. So that little bit just gives you that bit just to thingy when you're lifting it in and out. When you so after that, we get some. Lucky nuts like this, same size, and then we just I'll just do one side for now, just to show what I'm on about. I mean, you could use bigger bolts if you want, but in all my years I've never had one snap, I don't think.
No.
I've made quite a few of these over the years. That's it, nice and secure. That's that bit done. Right, next we go on to making the arm. Just move this down here.
Is that the difficult bit, is it?
What, sorry?
Is that difficult, the arm?
Not really, no. I've been doing the blue pizza moment in a way. Or have I? Right, what we got to make out of a 50mm angle iron.
Yeah.
Is 2 of these.
Right. So it comes together that normally, does it?
They come like that.
Yeah.
And then the arm will rock on this, you see.
Okay.
So we've got a left hand B and a right hand B. The most important thing when you're drilling it all up is that has got to be the same level. Otherwise, you do it slightly angled, the thing will be to cock, the arm going through. So it's imperative that you drill the 2 top holes.
Is there a hack for that, getting them spot on, or how do you do it?
I just think I measure it and centre punch it.
Right.
So these want to be 12 centimetres long. That's 4.5 inches, made out your 3mm, 50mm angle. The centre hole eventually wants to be a 10mm hole.
Yeah.
And it wants to come down. I think I've written it on one, have I? Maybe not. It wants to come down. Oh yeah, 1.5 centimetres. That's the whole thing. Yeah, the centre of that wants to be 1.5 centimetres down. The centre of that there.
Yeah.
The centre of that 1.5 centimetres. The centre going down, if you understand what I mean. It's got to be the centre of there.
Yeah. And
then what we do for the bottom bit, 1 centimetre in.
Yeah.
8mm holes, 2 centimetres or whatever you that way, or 2 or 3 centimetres. It doesn't matter really, but as long as you know,
good space between them.
Yeah, try and get them all, you know.
It's more imperative that they're exactly the same.
More or less, yeah. So as long as you say, then mark them, because they can be slightly out. When it comes to thing, if you get them mixed up when you're putting them back, and that can be at the front or what have you. Trying to get it to go through and be a nightmare. So we've made them, we've drilled them. Then we get our arm, which we've had cut to a length of.
Was this done when did we show a video to get that like that, or is it you've just done that like that?
No, I think I've just done that. Is another of my drawings. I know it looks terrible, but this is the arm. That's your 6mm by 25mm. Flat steel goes on top of the arm. I'll turn it around that way. And that is the back of the arm. That goes in this end of the box because it rocks. You see, when you push the peg down, it lifts the arm up.
Yeah.
So, going by that, 40mm long, 8mm bolts. Them things.
Yep.
2 of them drilled in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 50mm bolts, sorry. 8mm, 50mm bolts drilled in at 40mm there, or 4 centimetres.
Yeah.
And they're only approximately about, what is that, 10, 11 in it, 110 10mm.
I'll go off that. I think it's probably a bit more accurate.
This is the main thing. That hole there, because thingy, approximately 9 inches from the end, or.
And so that's the base, did you say?
That's the top of the arm.
And that's the bottom of the arm, and it has to be on
The
the
bottom
side.
of the arm is like that, you see.
That's right. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? That's a 10mm hole as well.
Yeah.
So, what we do, we get a 10mm bolt, we put it through that hole, we get, I don't know if it's the right washer or not, well, if it's on. Yeah, put a washer on there. We take these washers off. These are just for spacing while we're making it, and then put another one there. And what it does, it just gives it that little bit of play, if you get what I'm saying, like that when we bolted it all together.
Yeah.
And then we get the locking nut and tighten it up tight. And then I'll do the next bit in a second. I'll be back with you in a second.
So there's been a few changes to the video, and I shall just let Chris explain.
Yeah, due to the weather, because it's absolutely freezing outside, we decided to take a little break, but on the next episode we'll be showing you how to finish the arm off, insert it into the box, fix the backflash on, and show you how to split the hinges, and it'll be more or less ready for painting then. So don't forget, like us and subscribe, and if you've got any questions or anything, just let us know, okay? Thank you.
Bye!